Hi guys, this is Tammy from ESL Library, and today we're going to look at a few different speaking tasks on our site. Let's start by looking for one of our resources called Speak Up. You'll find our speaking tasks under the task player. So I'll click into the task player. So the Speak Up resource has been created so that your students have a chance to practice their speaking on a number of familiar topics. This is a great way to assess your students' speaking, or if you're looking for a resource for placement tests, this is another good option. On the left-hand side, I can see all of the different tasks, and under each task, I can see the word speaking. Now, this resource has been developed only for speaking practice, but if you're in other lessons, you may notice speaking under some of the tasks on the left-hand side. I'm going to click into task number 7 on shopping. The students will have up to 2 minutes to record what they want to say about shopping. So let's click in by clicking start. I can see at the bottom that there are 3 different questions. The first question is, are you a saver or are you a spender? And then the student can click on the red button to record the response. Hi there, I am definitely a saver. I like to prepare myself in case there is something bad that happens. When the student is done, they can just click on the stop button and it will stop recording. And you can see they have a chance to review their answer. They can click play to listen again. Hi there, I am definitely a saver. And if they don't like the response, they can click delete and they can re-record it again. I like to save my money because sometimes bad things happen, so I like to be prepared. And they can continue this process until they're happy with what they have. I'm going to go ahead and click to the next question. The next question is, do you prefer shopping online or do you prefer shopping in stores? And they can repeat this process until they reach the end of the task. When they're done, they have a chance to review their answers and submit them to their teacher. I can click play to listen to my answers again. I like to save my money because if I click edit, it will take me back to the question so I can listen again, delete the task, or re-record if I want to. When I'm done, I can submit my answers. So now my teacher has a chance to review my responses and leave feedback if they want to. Now let's quickly look at a few different speaking task types throughout the site. We just looked at our Speak Up resource. Now we're here in our Space Story resource, which is part of our visual learning category. This is a low intermediate task. I'm going to click into the task player again to access the speaking resource. I'm going to find the speaking task, which is number 7 here. Click into it. In this one, the students are going to tell a story. They're going to look at a picture and tell a story about space. This is another good task for doing placement with your students. In this case, the student is going to look at the picture and tell a story about space, and they can view the reference here for an idea about what a story needs. If we click View Reference, we can see that a story needs a title, it needs a setting, it needs a problem, it needs a solution, it needs an ending. So we have some different ideas that relate to what we've been learning before. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see this picture more clearly. Okay, so now I can start to create my story in my head. I see a few different ideas here. There's a tennis ball, there's a dog with a spacesuit, there's a character here. So I have a lot of different inspiration to prepare me to record my story. Again, the student just clicks here, they'll record their story. When they get to the end, they can save it. I'm going to skip that part for now so we can look at a few other different task types. Here's another resource in our language scenes section called In the Kitchen. Again, click into the task player. And in this case, the speaking task is a speaking assessment, number 9. So I'm going to click into that on the task list. This speaking assessment asks the students to look at a picture and describe what they see. So here we have a nice big picture, and the students are able to record their answer down here at the bottom as we've seen before. This is a great task for assessing your students' English ability. I love that with this task, your students can be using sentences or they might just use individual words. So for example, I see a dog, or I see a woman singing, or they might just say plate, stove, pan. If they're more advanced, they might string it into a full story. So there's a lot of flexibility for placement or assessing your students with this task. Okay, here's another speaking task in our Your Name discussion starter. This is a lesson. I'm going to click into the task. This task asks the students, what is your full name? Please say it clearly. Then use your first name in a sentence. And they can click here to record the answer. The next question is, how many syllables does your first name have? Where is the stress? Does your first name have a special meaning or history? So this is a great task to do in the first day or first week of class together. Perfect assignment to assign to your students as they're learning how to use ESL Library and also as you're getting to know one another. This is a personal response task from our Maya Angelou lesson. This is one of our famous people lessons, and you'll find these personal response tasks in a number of different famous people lessons. Let's click start. They're going to review a quote and record a personal response. So in this case, they need to view the reference, and they'll click right here to view reference. How do you feel about this quote? They're going to support their response with a personal experience or observation. And they can click here and record their response. This is another speaking practice activity from within our discussion starters. It's part of our Classrooms of the Future lesson. The student is provided with an image to help spark their imagination and a question. What do you think it will be like to be a kindergarten student in 20 years? And again, they can record their answer here. Like some of the other speaking tasks we've seen, this one does have 3 different questions all around the same picture. So what do you think it will be like to be a university student in 20 years? And do you think students of the future will go to school for more or less time than they do today? Explain. Let's look at one more speaking task type. This last task type is part of our functional English category. It's an assessment type where the students are going to read or listen to a prompt and then record a spoken response. I can see at the bottom that there are 4 different questions. This first one, it looks like we're reading. You don't want to go to a social event after work. Make an excuse to tell your boss. I've never done that. The second question here is, listen to your friend's excuse. Respond to your friend. You should accept her excuse. So let's go ahead and listen to this.
I'm so sorry I missed your birthday. I've been really busy at work.
And then I can go ahead and record my response. It looks like the next question also has us listening. And this last question has us viewing a reference. So we're going to click the record button, view the reference, and read example sentences out loud. So I would click record, view the reference, and then read these sentences for pronunciation practice. And as with all of the speaking tasks, when I get to the end, I can review my answers, edit, re-record when necessary, and then submit my answers. All right, I hope you found some of these speaking tasks exciting. They're great to assign as digital tasks to your students as homework, and you have the option as the teacher to review their feedback and leave responses as well. Thanks for joining today and happy teaching. Bye.